Boom. I think you can see what we're doing. Okay guys, welcome back to Robertson Co. Welcome back to London, live at 5, late as ever. Busy day. We are back on making silver wire. These need to be annealed again. We're in the process of making sterling silver D-shaped wire. One of these didn't make it. Where is it? So these are, I've been doing these for weeks now. First of all, melted them, poured them, pinged them, started rolling them. Did I get to draw? I don't think I even got to draw plates. Did I get to draw plates, Dave? I don't think so. No. During the annealing process, they were like exuding a black silver oxide, remelted them. What I've discovered in the process of making these, although these have been a bit of a disaster, they have on the one hand been a big success, because I think I've finally figured out how to make silver wire, which you'd think after this about time making jewellery I'd have figured that out by now, and I had nailed it. I changed the way I was making wire to suit 18 karat gold, which I nailed. That's 18 karat gold there. I can make 18 karat gold wire perfect, usable in its entirety. I started making silver ingots and wire the same way, and it was a disaster. So I've had to revert to the old way. But anyway, this turns out I was heat treating it right, annealing it the way everybody anneals silver, and turns out it's wrong. It doesn't work. I'm gonna have to make a video about it. That'd be fun. But yes, there's just too much. It's kind of okay. We'd get some usable metal, but it's every time I draw it, it's I wouldn't say cracking, but you're getting these little splinters which need filing off, and I could just every time I go through the draw plate sit and file off the splinters and go again and again and again. But I'm losing silver every time I do that. So I think the sensible thing to do is actually just remelt that along with the other bits that cracked, and start again, which is frustrating, starting again. But at least hopefully with this batch, now I know, I think I know the right way to anneal this now, which is the way I was doing it before, and it worked. But yeah, like I say, changed the way I was doing it to suit 18 karat and 9 karat to a lesser extent. I never actually had any issues with 9 karat. 9 karat seems quite forgiving. But we need to anneal this. This is actually about, this is, where's the draw plate? On the final hole of the 63mm draw plate, 50% profile. So yeah, it's on the final hole of that, which is the final hole of this. Is, I would imagine, the first hole of this, which is a 3 to 1mm D shape. So next we do this. Doesn't look like it, does it? But yeah. This hole, yeah, no, that's not that end. That's why it doesn't look like it. That hole there, in theory, I reckon 31. Is the same as size 1 on that 3mm. So we're gonna, in theory, we should, I reckon, be able to go straight to hole 2. We will see. But yeah, this wire needs annealing. We get it up to a dull red. With the 18 karat gold, I was doing what is recommended, which they sort of describe as soaking it in the heat. Doing that with the silver doesn't seem like a good idea now. Lower temperature, still red hot, but lower temperature than we possibly were before. The other thing is it glows, silver glows less than gold. So if you get the silver and the gold to the same sort of colour, they're different temperatures. The silver will be hotter. When I'm doing 22 karat, which I do from time to time, when I'm working with 22 karat gold, it scares the life out of me, because if the where I'm working with lower karat gold and silver quite a lot, if you were to get silver up to the based on colour. If you were to get silver to the glow of 22 carat, when the point at which the solar flows, which is probably between 700 and 800 degrees centigrade, the 22 carat glows this bright red at that temperature. That if you got sterling silver up to that colour, it would be a puddle of molten metal. See, I think most jewellers, in fact, and most books and tutors and what have you, will say the best way to judge colour is by temperature is by colour, and that comes with experience. But what I've never heard anyone say before is that the colours of the different alloys, the glow is different. Like, so silver has a silver starts glowing at a lower temperature, or just the golds. The higher the carat of gold, the greater the glow. See, that should do. But so if that were gold, it would probably be it may not be annealed at that temperature. It takes a lot. Yeah, air cooling seems to be the way forward with sterling silver, and I can almost preempt what people will say, because it's kind of exactly, I know what they're going to say. They're going to say exactly what I'm thinking, which is, what are you talking about? We've been quenching silver forever. People always exaggerate how long they've been doing it, though. You know, they've been making jewellery since 1896, never had a problem, not once. But, you know, everyone soldering silver is quenching it in water. Some of us, to save time, are quenching it in the pickle. It does save a lot of time. But I've been doing that a while, and I'll tell you what I did have problems with doing that. The only thing I really had real problems with that was when I was doing antique coins. I had some issues with those puffing up, bubbling up, blistering on those for sure, noticeably. But I've never noticed it on anything else. That's not to say it didn't happen. It just wasn't noticeable. But it isn't. The problem might be there when you're soldering. Like it might cause the problems. But because you're not then rolling it out and drawing those pieces through a draw plate, if anything, all that's happening with them is you're doing a little bit of forming, bending potentially, and polishing. The problems that it causes, the issues that it can cause, I don't want to say they don't really matter, but they don't materialise in the same way they do when you're working with ingots and wire like this. Because if I was to quench this now and then just polish it, it'd be fine. But if you start trying to significantly change the shape and size by rolling and drawing, it's not even really problematic. It's problematic in spots, more so in some spots than others. Like, you start to get cracking and porosity, and you get this sort of blistering as well, which I think is the water or some element of the the water getting trapped in the porosity. It must become slightly enlarged when the metal's hot. It's potentially something to do with the grain size of the metal, which goes back to the actual melting process and pouring process. And I'm not even going to pretend that I'm ever going to get to the bottom of that. That sort of aerospace industry nerdiness, or metallurgy, I think is the word I'm looking for. It's not jewelry trade stuff. Right, there we go. They will air cool, and when they're cool, they'll be super soft, and they can go back through the drawer plates. Probably got at least 10 or 12 more holes. Right, I'll see you in the next one for an update. Toodles.